Did you know that a recent study found that over 70% of people feel inadequate when comparing themselves to others? Yeah, that's right. It's wild to think about how many of us are stuck in this cycle of comparison every single day. So let's talk about it. What if I told you that this habit is not just harmful, but it's holding you back from achieving your dreams? Hey there everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into something that affects so many of us, self-comparison. In a world dominated by social media, it's super easy to find yourself scrolling through someone else's highlight reel and feeling like you're falling short. You know that feeling, right? The constant need to measure up against your friends, influencers, or even complete strangers. It's exhausting. Alright, let's break down the problem. Self-comparison can quickly lead to intense feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Think about it. How many times have you scrolled through social media and seen someone's perfect vacation photos? Complete with crystal clear waters, beautiful sunsets, and constant smiles. In those moments, it's hard not to think, why can't I be that happy? Why don't I have a life that exciting? And it doesn't stop there. Maybe you're watching someone absolutely crush it in their career. They're getting promotions, hitting big milestones, and seem to have everything together. Meanwhile, you're feeling stuck or lost, and suddenly, their success feels like a spotlight on your own perceived shortcomings. It's a tough cycle, comparing yourself, feeling like you're not enough, and then trying to fill that gap. It's a cycle that often just leads to more stress, anxiety, and sometimes even envy. And instead of motivating you, it can keep you trapped in this loop of self-criticism, where no matter what you achieve, it never feels like enough. So, let's look at why this happens and how we can shift our focus to break out of this pattern for good. Studies show that social media can amplify feelings of comparison and insecurity. Think about it, most of what we see online is carefully curated and edited to perfection. We're bombarded with images and stories of people's highlight reels, those moments when everything looks flawless, everyone's smiling, and life seems easy and effortless. But here's the thing, it's not the full story. Rarely do we see the struggles, the messy moments, or the challenges they're dealing with behind the scenes. We don't see the long hours of work, the missed opportunities, or the emotional struggles people might be going through. Instead, we see an idealized snapshot, and it's easy to start believing that everyone else has it all together while we're the only ones struggling. This filtered view can make us feel like we're constantly falling short or that our own lives are lacking. It creates this almost impossible standard to live up to, fueling more self-doubt and frustration. So, the question becomes, how can we remind ourselves that social media is just a slice of reality, not the whole picture? But shifting to a growth mindset, where we start to see challenges as opportunities for learning and growth, can completely flip the script on self-comparison. Instead of feeling stuck or discouraged by someone else's success, we can start to focus on our own progress and appreciate the unique journey we're on. A growth mindset helps us recognize that we're all on our own individual paths, with different starting points, experiences, and goals. It allows us to view setbacks not as failures, but as chances to develop new skills, build resilience, and become a stronger version of ourselves. When we adopt this mindset, the success of others doesn't take away from our own potential. Instead, it can serve as inspiration or proof that growth is possible for all of us. This shift in perspective lets us step back from comparing our lives to others and appreciate where we are now, knowing that every step, big or small, is part of our personal journey toward success. What if I told you that the key to overcoming the cycle of comparison actually lies in gratitude? Yes, seriously. It might sound simple, but when I started practicing gratitude, everything changed. Instead of focusing on what I didn't have or how I measured up against others, I began to pay attention to the things I already had, the big things and even the small, everyday wins. Gratitude shifts our perspective. It helps us stop dwelling on what's missing and appreciate what's present. When we regularly acknowledge the positive aspects of our own lives, it's like training our minds to focus on abundance rather than lack. And the beauty of it is that gratitude can transform our mindset from one of constant comparison to one of contentment and fulfillment. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but over time, practicing gratitude can make us more resilient to the pressures of comparison. We start seeing our own lives through a lens of appreciation and self-worth, instead of one clouded by comparison and self-doubt. One transformative strategy one found was to limit my time on social media. At one point, I even deleted some apps for a while to give myself a mental reset. Instead of scrolling through curated images of other people's lives, I used that time to focus on real-life connections and activities that genuinely made me feel good. And guess what? I started feeling lighter and way more confident in myself. Without the constant input of other people's highlights, I could actually tune into my own life, my goals, and what mattered most to me. Social media can sometimes trick us into feeling like we're not enough or that we're missing out. But stepping away helped me realize that my worth isn't defined by comparisons. It allowed me to reconnect with what genuinely brings me joy and fulfillment, without needing external validation. This isn't to say that social media is all bad, but sometimes a break can be exactly what we need to reset our perspective and refocus on our own journey. Today we delved into the harmful effects of self-comparison and how it can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and ultimately hinder our success. We explored the psychological impact of constantly measuring ourselves against others, sharing personal stories that illustrate just how deeply comparison can affect our well-being. It's important to recognize that these feelings of inadequacy are all too common in a world where social media amplifies our insecurities. But amidst the struggle, remember this: your journey is unique. Each of us has our own set of experiences, challenges, and aspirations that shape who we are. Rather than getting caught up in what others are doing, it's essential to focus on your own path, celebrating your progress, acknowledging your accomplishments, and embracing the lessons learned along the way. By prioritizing self-compassion and gratitude, we can begin to break the cycle of comparison and build a more fulfilling, authentic life. Alright folks, I want to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with comparison? How did you overcome it? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content on personal growth.